Mr. Murali Pillai.
Mr. Chairman, sir, last month, Transparency International released its annual Corruption Perception Index. 180 countries were ranked. Singapore came in 6th. This is an improvement over last year's ranking when she emerged 7th. I would like to acknowledge the unstinting devotion of CPIB officers, past and present, in ensuring that Singapore remains one of the least corrupt countries in the world. Singaporeans have confidence that so long as CPIB secures evidence of corruption and wrongdoing against a person, it will take action and bring the person to court to face justice regardless of his or her background. The principal tool of CPIB is the Prevention of Corruption Act, which was enacted in 1960. It has been revised from time to time to ensure that CPIB officers are provided with the legal support necessary for their work. In 1966, recognizing that in a small country like Singapore, strict territorial limits would be insufficient to address potential mischief, the extraterritoriality provisions making Singapore citizens liable for the offense of corruption overseas was introduced. Notwithstanding the latitude of the provision, the primary focus of CPIB was on reining in corruption in Singapore or corrupt acts outside Singapore, which have a detrimental effect within Singapore. The international landscape, however, has evolved. Recognizing that some countries are less adept at handling domestic corruption, the International Committee has sought to require countries to enact criminal provisions aimed at discouraging legal persons, meaning corporations and natural persons, from engaging in corrupt practices overseas, especially with respect to offering bribes to foreign government officers. Both the UN Convention Against Corruption, of which Singapore is a signatory, and the OECD Anti-Bribery Convention mandate this. Under the UK Bribery Act, it is an offence for the UK company not to have taken reasonable steps to prevent the occurrence of bribery overseas. In light of these developments, I have the following suggestions. First, to expand the extraterritoriality provisions in the Prevention of Corruption Act to include corporations registered in Singapore. Next, I suggest that punishment provisions be relooked to ensure that they have a deterrent effect, especially with respect to corporations which cannot be jailed. Finally, I would like to revisit a point I made in my parliamentary question in February 2017 about introducing an offence for corporations that fail to prevent the commission of offences such as bribery. The government, in its reply then, felt there was no need to do so, having regard to the Singapore situation. I respectfully suggest that the government should relook at this position, given the international dimension that I've outlined in my speech.